Hey, if you're not closing at least 90% of your calls here, you ain't doing something right. All right, hey, welcome to the morning workout. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Richard Bainey, the $1 Million Plumber. All right, hey, I've been in the plumbing industry for over 40 years. Been in this plumbing game. Oh man, boy, has time flown by. So I've seen it all, done it all, okay? Been everywhere, okay? Started a plumbing business literally from my kitchen table, okay, with no money. Spent the rent money on buying a van. All right, no money, just a few hand tools, and a dream of having my own plumbing business, create freedom for myself. All right. Grew that into a multi-truck, multi-million-dollar plumbing operation, and then sold it for a lot of money. All right, quite honestly, I thought I was done with plumbing and plumbers altogether, but I was asked, how'd you go from where you were to where you wound up? And quite frankly, I was tired of playing golf and just traveling and hanging out. Hey, retirement's not good for a man. I was bored, so got into this thing called coaching. And then started sharing what I learned my 40 years of being in the industry and having done it all myself. That's why I can stand where we are today and say literally there's no one out there that's been in it longer and has done more, all right, and has helped more. I've now helped hundreds of plumbing entrepreneurs build a thriving, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business. Going from being a chuck in a truck, all right, with all the struggles, all right, can't find enough guys, phone ain't ringing enough, just simply ain't making enough money, to becoming multi-truck, multi-million-dollar plumbing operations themselves. And now I've had clients sell their plumbing operations for millions of dollars, just like I did. All right, it's a beautiful thing, and that's what this is all about. And hey, I made the statement, man, if you ain't closing, all right, over 90% of your calls, you ain't doing something right, okay? In fact, you're doing something wrong, and sadly, that's what most of you guys out there are doing. You're doing it wrong, okay? Hey, listen up here, because after this video here, you'll know what to do right, how to look at it. Bottom line is, you weren't taught these things, okay? You were taught how to be a good tradesman, so you decided to, you're a great plumber, and hey, I'm so good here. Instead of making money for that guy, I'll go make money for myself, so you started your own plumbing business. And you threw yourself out there, and you made the number one mistake that we all make starting out, okay, is that you decided to write slave, okay, or sucker, or whatever on your forehead, okay, whatever, pick your S word, okay, by doing new construction, okay, because that looks like a lot of work, okay, work. By the way, a lot of work doesn't equal paying the bills, okay? Creating a freedom lifestyle for yourself, all right? So you can live the life that you have in your mind, all right? A lot of work doesn't equate to that. So, but we start out working for GCs, or we do commercial work, right? And, or do warranty work. Man, worse yet, doing warranty work, okay? And again, if you're doing that kind of work, man, you might as well just have slave, again, or you're a sucker, stupid, is a good one, just plain stupid across your forehead, because that's what that is, okay? Hey, I'm gonna bring it, okay? You gotta hear these things. If this offends you, then you're a plumbing hack, okay? If this offends you, you're a plumbing hack. I do this for the couple guys, the one or two guys that need to hear the truth, and that says, yeah, I don't like that. There's something to that. All right, those are the guys. Hey, I'm old school, man. I'm from the days where you're with your crew and you tell your guy to stop acting like a pussy. All right, instead of handing him a participation ribbon or trophy, or here's a puppy to hold so your feelings aren't hurt. What has that done for our society? Look at where we're at today. All right, so I'm telling you, if you're working for GCs, or new construction, for commercial work or warranty work or anything like that, stop being stupid, all right? So where do you need to work for? All right, who you need to work for is residential service. The right customer is residential service customer, okay? All right, so that's start off with that. Okay, have to be working for the right customer. Also, without in that, okay, is the right kind of branding. Branding's important. Okay, again, if your branding says that I look like look like a hack and look cheap, or worse yet, I even say on my truck, the lowest cost plumbing in town. All right, again, you might as well have sucker, stupid. Oh, stupid's better. Stupid across your forehead, because that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract customers who are looking for nothing but the lowest price in town. Okay, and not the experience. So those things are two very important things. Okay, who you work for and how your branding is, how you look matters. People judge a book by its cover, period. I know that's not nice. That hurts my feelings. All right? All right? If you look like a butt crack plumber, you are a butt crack plumber, and you ain't worth anything. By the way, no one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. Okay, which leads very closely to no one wants to spend money on plumbing. But back to no one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. Those who called you are already sold. So if they call you, they're already sold. You don't need special sales training. All right? You don't need special words to manipulate the customer. So if you're working for the right customer, okay, and your brand already says that you're good, okay, not some kind of hack butt crack plumber out here, all right, and they call you, they're already sold. It's us that mess it up, okay? You're screwing it up, all right, if you're not closing over 90% of your calls coming in, all right? Okay? So when you take that call and they called in, they're ready to go. And on that call, all right, you don't want to get into answering a bunch of questions, all right? The more questions that you answer, the more uncomfortable they're getting. No one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. All right, they're uncomfortable. Right? They don't want to do this. We love plumbing, but their day is messed up. They got to get whatever taken care of finally. Okay, and they're uncomfortable because they also know they're going to spend money on plumbing. All right, and so let them pepper you with questions. All right, you're going to lose the call, even if you schedule the call. And speaking of scheduling, you're going to schedule every call for today. The values in today. They're not calling around to get, first of all, they're not calling around to get pricing. Okay, that's just an intelligent question to ask. All right, the call-ins to get the job done, to get it taken care of today. Today, they want it done today. All right, that's the value in today. Well, I already have 10 calls on me and it's just me. Schedule a call for today. Every call for today, okay? I want to stress these things. These are stupid things guys are doing because we book our schedule out because we feel very comfortable. Oh, my schedule's full, all right? First of all, no one wants to, by the time we get out to them, they've already found someone to get it taken care of, okay? No one wants to spend money on plumbing, okay? It isn't worth anything to anybody. They don't want to spend money on plumbing. The value is that I get it taken care of today when I want it done. All right? Also, we get into talking about the experience, okay? I'll get to that. But you're scheduling every job for today. All right? Then you're going to triage the jobs. You're going to prioritize the profit. All right? So that's the second thing you're going to do. All right? First is you're going to work with the right customer. The next important thing to take away from the second point is schedule every job for today. When? Write in the comments, today. Okay? Well, I got 100 calls on me and it's just me in a truck. 101st call, scheduled for today. Okay? Can't stress that enough. It's stupid not to. Okay? You're screwing yourself is what you're doing. All right? And then finally here, when you go out there, get out to the call, you can provide options. Okay? Options. Now, there's a way to provide options, but at least provide options. This broke, fixed mentality. Or do you think you're doing the customer a favor by telling them, here's what you recommend or the one thing? That's not what's happening. Psychology works this way. And this is 40 years of being in the plumbing industry. Okay? All right, 20 years of my own plumbing business. Hundreds of guys. Thousands of customers, okay? It's still the same thing, all right? They called you out there, but here's the strange thing. They want to say no. Okay, they don't want to do it. Nobody wants to spend money on plumbing. Okay, it's always more than what they thought it was going to be. So get over your freaking little panty waist self when they push back on price. Okay, it's been that way for over 40 years. I can remember customers freaking out on me over $80. $80. You know, throwing up, or, you know, pointing a gun at me and telling them to get the hell out of their house, whatever. I've had it all. Okay, over $80. All right, it's always been more, and it always will be more than what they want to spend on plumbing. Okay, we're not delivering flowers or pizzas, or, you know, it's not something that they want to show off to somebody in their house. It's not something that makes them necessarily look good to anybody else. Okay, so get over your little panty waist self. All right, about the pushback. Okay, but they do want to say no to something. Okay, so we want to provide options. What are options? Options are choices. Bottom line, they're choices. Okay, you give them choice, something to say no to, and I recommend what I call the Goldilocks approach. It's the Goldilocks syndrome. Okay, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You know, she breaks into the Three Bears' house. You know, and they got the porridge on the table. First porridge is too hot. Next porridge is too cold, but finally the middle porridge is just right. Well, it's the same thing works on the choices. Okay, so you provide choices, the options. Okay, and the one's going to be it does a few different things there. It gives us something to say no to. All right. Okay, when you give them just one choice, you think it's 50-50, yes or no. It's not that way. It's more like 90-10, no. 90 no, 10 yes, because they want to say no. All right. You're going to give them three choices. Good, better, best. We're a good, better, best society. Good, better, best world. Think about it. Not 4 choices, not 2 choices, not 5 choices, not free fix if they buy your super duper water saving, earth saving, universe saving, you know, water conditioning system. Okay, all that bullshit. Okay, it's 3 choices. Okay, and what that does gives Mrs. Jones, okay, it's what I call a customer, what we call the customer here at MDP, gives them choice, something to say no to, gives them price perspective. One price by itself, $80, and they freak out over, okay? But when they see $500, say with my $80 perspective, $500, $250, and then $80 doesn't seem so high. And what winds up happening, the psychology of how it works is, okay, they're not going to go with the $500. $80 doesn't seem so high, but right in the middle ground, $250. There we go. That seems fine, and that's what happens. Okay, it's that easy. It is simply that easy, over and over and over and over and over again. But you got to do it that way. Okay, that's the focus. You don't need special sales training. All this sales training out there, that's all bullshit. Okay, first of all, the Grant Cardone stuff doesn't work here. It's too high, doesn't work this way. Okay, and in plumbing, all right, for the HVAC guys, HVAC training doesn't work. HVAC, you gotta have sales, because that's the only way they make money. They gotta sell the big units. They can't have a multi-million-dollar HVAC business by just repairs. You can with plumbing. Okay, all right. So this is specialized. This works. Again, this is over 40 years. All right, this works. So even though, you know, trying to make you guys, you don't have to make you guys salesmen. You just have to systemize it just like this. Realize working with the psychology of the customer, working with the right customer. All right, it's that simple. It's that simple, gang. All right, no excuses. Stop saying it's the economy and it's the market. You know, it's my area. My market's not big enough. You know, my guys aren't good enough. Whatever, all this bullshit. Those are all excuses. They're all excuses. All right, it is this simple. I've seen it thousands of times. Okay, so I'm being a little over the top here for you because I just want you to just grab this. It is just simple. Okay, but I'm sure I'll get the comments or whatever. Oh, I can do it. By the way, I know you can do it as a plumbing business owner, of course. You're a natural salesman, but we're talking about scaling. All right, being able to, you know, get your butt out of the truck and build a thriving, self-sustaining, means able to operate without you, okay? Very profitable plumbing business, okay, that makes you millions, and you wind up selling for millions, all right? Okay? You got to have someone else other than you, okay? I can tell you with the clients, the customers we deal with, and we're talking with the brokers or whatever, they ask, well, the first concern is not how much money the plumbing company's making, is the plumbing owner out of the business, doesn't need him. That's the thing. So yeah, you can sell all day long, and I'll see comments, well, I'm making money, I'm making $200,000. You're a broke, that's a hack plumber. I'm talking about making real money, okay? And that's okay, it's cool. If you're happy working until, your back gives out, and you'll have nothing to sell, it's not a customer list or anything like that, you have nothing to sell, okay? Yeah, you can have a job that you're doing well, okay? Basically you just have a high paying job with your name on it. Cool, all right, good for you, okay? But if you're talking about creating wealth, family wealth, generational wealth, okay, this is what you got to do, and it's simple, all right? Hey, if you want more on that, let's have a conversation, okay? Hey, schedule a call, okay, at milliondollarplumber.com/call, and we'll just have a conversation, see where your business is at, plumbing business is at, what's standing in your way, and point you in the right direction, okay? And go from there. So if that's you, so let's do that. All right, I'm home, I'm gonna get at it, you get at it too. As always, man, get out there, be dangerous, plumb like a champion.